as that does mean this investment in Yalk, it's just not paying off. And I can say just does not have a significant lead to really take control in any of these. This is the mark there.
Trying to get any form of farm he can. There's the AC now coming up on the mound. But going for that that basher, and once you have the Abyssal Blade, you could make the argument there is much more fight potential here for Ehome. Because they are seemingly lacking a way to lock down a hero like XM, Ehome to try to really burst down ASP. Problem is while you're farming that, CDEC are happily just taking a Roshan and Sync you actually teleportation. Oh, he takes the Aegis. What? No, I wasn't expecting that to be on. Sync is gonna die, but what a steal to come out. Oh my goodness, I've never seen that.
Oh, damn, I mean, he's been holding on to that for a while, but just TV in. How that timing has to be so perfect because of the channel, and he just gets it.
I have never ever seen anyone do that. That is very, very impressive. And I mean, I was watching,
you know.
I was watching the TP in the background, wondering why Ame's TPing again, only to realize it was Sync-Q. Like, what are the odds of him actually having TP available as a spell steal at the right moment? Sanity. So that's a big win for Ehome, though. Like, it just buys more time.
Yeah, it's gonna stall out the next push for CDEC, so gives Ehome some space to continue to farm. As you mentioned, nothing to say. He is working his way towards the Abyssal now. It's almost there. He's also, you know, they're also giving out space to Sylar, who's still saving up for the Silver Edge. That's going to give him a nice way of breaking through some of those defenses that CDEC has. Gives him some mobility as well. So there is that. They find a tier 1 top that Sylar's been free to take. And they just managed to turn it around just a bit.
Auction gonna be nice, catches out the ledge, but Victoria gonna just try and make a run for it. They'll chase him down. James gonna be there with SRF, but it's probably not worth taking the team fight. Or maybe it is. XM also joins in. Wants to fade beyond. Sonic Wave committed very early on, doesn't really do much, and then SRF just going a bit too far, and this is where you've got to be careful. If you are CDEC, you can't get overconfident like this. They're going to try again. They've got an Echo Slam opportunity, they do drop it. James landing a huge slam, but is it enough? Now Sylar pops the ulti. Ehome, he's left alone. He's gone, XM. Don't go back in like that, sir. It is very dangerous. They're going to smoke up. They want to chase this swap. Sylar not going to be able to get him. XM gonna be alright. They are still on the chase. Sylar believes that eventually he may run to this pop again. Well, he wasn't exactly wrong, but XM, good game sense to just keep linking out back towards the base. And, I mean, it was a great Echo Slam, John, but it does not really amount to as much as you would hope.
Oh, definitely not. And Ehome, feels like they've got the second life here. They recouped Silver Edge onto Sylar, so his right clicks are starting to look great. Has his level 15 talent spike as well, so he's got 14% CDR. That means more uptime on Phantasm, 56-second cooldown on a 30-second duration. That is pretty sweet for the CK. Does mean they can continuously force some fights out. And Ehome, if they hold out like this, nothing to say is going to be a very, very big core. And there's the potential for axe gifts as well.
That is true. Suddenly the game has gotten a lot closer. I wonder what Dota Plus is saying. Well, Dota Plus agrees, 52% the way of CDEC. That's it. And now a smoke will come out. CDEC could increase things a little bit here. Do they find nobody in the Dire jungle at the moment? The rest of Ehome are also smoked up.
Radiant are scanning.
It's a awkward situation both sides, knowing that this is a fairly good time to force a surprise fight. Let's see whose patience tests out who.
Get up. The observer ward does see it. It's already too late. The smoke's worn off. Team's kind of back to the drawing board. Ehome still looping back around into their own jungle, and looks like the side of CDEC will just hang around the Dire triangle and chill out there for a while. Like SRF, interestingly enough, is going for a Radiance build up on the Brewmaster.
Yeah, I think that's actually not too bad, right? Like, you still get the burn effect through the primal split, so you get more presence coming out there. You can kind of mitigate some of that right-click damage Ehome is relying heavily on, and you just get more presence. Of course, he's about to hit that level 20 spike as well, with more help to the primal split units, just keeping that presence up. And they do manage to finally take that last outer tower from Ehome. So CDEC hammer that control in on the map. Ehome, they're still getting farmed though. They're playing really safe together. Nothing to say. He's saving up for the Scotty next on the Alk, and he is just getting so darn big. Once you've got the Scotty, you're gonna be hard pressed.
They got SRF. Cog's pushback's gonna be there. They try to blow him up, but he does BKB and primal split. Back onto Faith Beyond. Everyone just jumps in on this clockwork. He will go down. Now Silent being caught out, but he'll BKB up. Back onto Ehome. It's a man fight, but it's a 2-on-1 kind of man fight. They just blow him up after the Phantasm, and now nothing to see. Also going to be in danger. He'll try to fight back onto the Lich, at least getting a support pick off, but he's TPing out of there. While he has time and sync Q in the primal split, it is probably also dead, as all his Brewlings are just gone. That's a great team fight once again for CDEC. Looks like they are ready to try and make the push up towards the high.
Yeah, that's just such an awkward time for Ehome. They weren't quite grouped up for the blow up. And so SRF just get to do what he wants, and that's going to be the first tier 3 going the way of CDEC, and probably more.
Kisses are going to be there. They do make the jump. XM getting jumped here, but with the Spirit there, sort of not to say he's not healing up too much to XM. He does go down. Faith Beyond had the added stun. Now Ehome going to be chased. Echo is going to be committed there from James to slow them down, but it's not going to be off Ehome. He's still in big trouble. Stuns flying out of the 4-second stun. Sylar will be able to take him out, and now they got a tier 3 tower. But those are some huge pickoffs for the side of Ehome. You start to ask the question, is this the start of a comeback? The Eye of Scotty now has picked up on nothing to say.
It's getting scary for CDEC at the least. You are seeing nothing to say become a major factor. I think weakest link here for Ehome is still Sylar. I mean, he needs more to come out. It's a Nebicon, the CK, but if he gets the right opportunity, I mean, you get the right roll on the dice, the Chaos Strike just strikes up for you, and you still melt people down, so there's still some potency there for our CK, but it's really riding on nothing to say. He's just lived way too long in these fights. With that Scotty, he's got so much more stats, so much more durability in play, and you can counteract some of that durability on CDEC as well. Have to be really careful. Now, they do hit a major spike on SRF. He's got the level 20 talent for the additional HP on his primal split units. So he's basically close to invulnerable at that point, as long as they don't focus him down. That's something for Ehome to really weigh against. I think the times Ehome win these fights is when SRF has already blown the primal split. So that's their condition. Force the split out early, sit it out, and then come back in when it's done. They have to find windows like that. They've been pretty disciplined at doing that, really down to Faith Beyond, isolating SRF early, forcing him to commit that spell when it's not ideal.
What do you do now? They're just staying grouped up at the moment. anyone's game, and just got to be very wary as CDEC. You don't want to throw this game that felt like an almost guaranteed win for themselves. Big smoke up here from Ehome. Nothing to scout that smoke out. CDEC, they have a feeling. Sylar running in with a Shadow Blade Silver Edge. He's going to go in with the hook shot out onto XM, but they can't lock him down fast enough. It will BKB. Now Sylar going to be in trouble. Does pop his own BKB going back onto the Quap, and they are going to get XM. He'll buy back immediately. Sylar also to go down on the CK with no buyback. Now back onto Faith Beyond is XM. And Faith looks to be in big trouble as he does go down. Enough to say he's going to be surrounded. He needs some help, but nobody's coming to help him out. In fact, he's just by himself, man-fighting everybody. However, XM, he might die back. He does go down. Apparently, Faith Beyond does not die.
Ooh.
So now they've got the quad buyback. They do at least get the Alchemist. Sync does also go down. Why? Is in deep trouble on the Snapfire, just actually selfing up while this is happening. Does pop the Glimmer, but they have the dust and they will kill. So, great team fight for CDEC, apart from that dieback on the Quap, but they have a Roshan open for them.
That's going to be a net win for CDEC in the end. Of course, that's 4 for, well, 2. Consider that dieback. And Ehome now in a bit of a rough spot. Again, their openings aren't simple. The way they win is to have to force Esser to blow his spells. That was a tight choke point to force that out. That was a very split up fight as well. They need to be together here to really win out. And with that opening, CDEC, they get the Aegis and Cheese. A lot more Ehome has to play against now, as you still maintain a lead, but you get a bit worried with how much CDEC is getting out here.
That you do.
Oh, well, Ehome just going to clear out those bot racks by himself, apparently.
Yeah, why the hell not?
Dire's bottom barracks has fallen.
Just take him. That'd be 1 racks down now. Ehome. He still have the chance to make a comeback. It's just looking so rough. Like, he's getting controlled so easily. Not really that tanky CK you'd hope to really have if you are Ehome. He could make all the difference if he does get that Abyssal Blade up. They are still lacking a lot of control here on Ehome's side. But you look at Ehome, he's got the Bloodthorn up now on the Prophet. Yeah, he's basically slotted now. I guess you could just get rid of the treads and pick up something else. But he's looking pretty good on this Prophet.
Oh yeah, he's maintaining that good farm he's had. You know, he's been on point with that presence. You know, the Prophet with a shock was actually one of the more annoying things to deal with. It's not a hero that needs too much mana, so you can get away with it and just really boosts up that durability. So Ehome becomes a really tricky target to go up against. Ehome still making use of this time quite well. They're finding some big tier 4 items. Ninja Gear and Flicker up now as well. They've got some tools to play with, and Sylar does have more durability and right click coming out of that at the least. They've also... Oh.
Oak John seeded. But now Faith's gonna go straight on the clock. He does force stuff out. They still go in with XM up from Faith Beyond, but they do catch out the Snapfire. Why? Will be dead. They're still trying to get that Faith Beyond quirk. Does manage to avoid them. But no, Fisher does connect, and they're back in SRF. We'll decide better of it. Sylar, he was behind the whole time. Echo being committed, they fought him out now. He's forced the BKB and just TP out again. But they know the BKB, my god, that was close. But they know the BKB is not going to be available. It's time to go high ground against the CDEC.
The seeds are formed.
Oh god, it's a scary time for them, for Ehome at least. They are limited in their own, well, durability at this stage. They do have a buyback up on Nothing to Say, but they don't have one for Sylar. They do manage to win this one out. CDEC might be able to force that into the tier 4s if they want to do so. Gonna be a measured game for them to take their time and find an opening. Nothing to Say.
Being a bit of danger, Fish does connect. But it seems to be the last target they want to jump on at the moment, and he's just very, very tanky. We are at that point, by the way, where the Aghanim Scepter seem to be coming out now from the arc.
Yeah,
Who did they give it to first?
That's a tricky one. I don't know if you want it on Sylar. He can make illusion out, which is decent, but let's see. Who did he, maybe Faithion? No.
Dire's structures are fortified.
You just buy it.
Yeah, who is he feeding first there? Okay, long way.
Korea, and he'll give it
Okay.
to Sync. Alright. Faithion getting caught out there. So now, you don't have that clockwork, CDEC. This should be the time when they feel like they can make high ground push. That age is probably going to expire fairly soon, but it's a 4v5. You couldn't ask for much more. Gonna try Ehome. He TP's right into Sylar, who just pops the Phantasm, and that's a lot of damage coming out. He pops the Satanic trying to survive, but even XM falling low will eat the cheese and survive. There goes your Aegis. Sylar, he would trade his life away from that. But he'll buy it back into this team fight, but now to say is falling low, trying to survive through all this damage output. Stun is going to be on an XM, but it's blocked off to the links and up to say still rolling. The Echo is not going to be up, the Fisher is, and now Y also goes down, but Sylar will fight back onto SRF underneath the tier 4 towers, and SRF, he doesn't have any hope left. So they do force out a lot of buybacks here from CDEC, but that's it. They can't get the tier 3 down, they can't get the racks down. So they'll have to back out of there.
That's a pretty good defense for Ehome. It is costly, but they don't lose any objectives on the high ground. They take care of that Aegis. They force the cheese usage. So CDEC is actually in a fairly open spot for Ehome to exploit. They're behind 7k now, but that's down to the fact that they blew those buybacks. We're gonna have to find more ways to build up. I think now is, again, as you mentioned, the time for nothing to save for those snags. But they do smoke up Ehome. They know they can take a 4v5 here.
Unexpected kind of soak to make the good, right? Because you don't have buybacks left for Ehome, so CDEC may not be exactly expecting, or maybe they are. They're just hiding in their base at the moment. Did they smoke under a ward by any chance? Doesn't look like it. Good game sense out from CDEC. Looks like Ehome will just have to suffice for the top tier 2 if that. Like, not to say he's getting relatively close to picking up the next Aghanim Scepter. I would say Faithion is probably your next best target, unless you want the Gobble up on the Snap Player for some reason. But you know, actually, why? I'm just gonna get picked up by Ehome. He's got the no CD teleportation again, John.
Oh yes, of course.
Gonna kill everything now, this Nature's Prophet.
Yep, it's what you tend to do with that hero, and there's that second Ags flying in. What's he gonna feed it to? It should be Fate, but
no,
it's on Sylar. Alright, so they've got the option for more illusions, at least on Sylar, so one additional Phantasm coming out, or they could just clone up the Elk, which doesn't sound too bad as well. Really depends on what they want here. Still, they're gonna be a man down for the next minute, and CDEC, it's their turn to try to shove out.
Try. Might be one of the slower sieges from Ehome. He doesn't want to risk too much, and there's a lot of going out for nothing to save, but tier 3 tower gonna go down. Out of 8. Tossing Q, trying to start the fight. There's those illusions flying out. It just gives everyone basically now. Ehome is being jumped. He's a very tanky target. The Echo's being committed. It does blow up basically the illusions. Meanwhile, Q did go down, but they do lose Sylar as well. And Ehome, they are starting to fall apart here. Faith does also die. Not to say, really the only one left fighting for the team. Can he 1v5 them? Probably not. They'll call the GG. Took CDEC a while, but it was quite a convincing victory from this Radiant side. And for Ehome, they tried to run another unique draft. This time it didn't work out, but for our benefit, John, we have a game number 3.
Oh yeah.
Faith in fate restored.
I like what I see.
Mine. Faith in fate restored. Cloud.
Don't even think about it.
None to burn. Radiant's courier has been killed. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Faith in fate restored.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Haste! Thanks.
Double kill.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Faith in fate restored.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
I like what I see.
Invisibility.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Faith in fate restored.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has been denied.
I'll take your tribute.
Mine.
Time is up. This pleases me to no end.
10억짜리 구매고기 15억짜리 구매고기
Dire's courier has been killed.
Slog had his way with you.
Patience.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Don't even think about it.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Go on, get out of here. You never felt more shit, did you?
I'm getting a second wind
Bounty.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant team pick.
Something playmaker here for Fate Beyond at the end. If it's not going to be the Fate Beyond clock,
Dire
which,
team
you know, it does look like it's not going to be, because you don't really have any cores left to pick up, so they're gonna have to show their support soon. CDEC, pick up that Venge we've seen consistently banned out. It does do a lot of good work. It's got some great presence there, amps up a lot of damage, and
10
does allow
seconds
CDEC to consider certain pause ones that really work well with that Venge. So Luna's on the table if they wanted that, and even Medusa. But Ehome, global strat, NP spec Zeus, all over the map.
Not
Yeah,
only those three, the clockwork. You've got the hook shot. I mean, it's basically global if you can hook shot from a mile away. So I love the global strat coming out. Been a while since we've seen a proper global
5
strat.
seconds remaining.
This is would you really like want to just completely make it global and just pick up something like an AA or something that can also throw something out and just be involved? I wonder if they just want to round it off with some extra ability that could really just be there. Still CDEC, they are gonna go pick up that Medusa. That's a tough one. You pointed it out and there it is. As it stands, I don't see many ways of getting through the Medusa's HP and mana pool.
Nah, it's a tricky one. It's going to be relatively easy to keep that
10
Medusa
seconds
healthy,
remaining.
and of course, in an awkward spot, because
5 seconds
they
remaining.
can play slow with the Medusa, but they can also play fast because there's a Venge to really buff its early preference. So,
Dire team
you know, if they want to
Radiant
play
team
it slow,
back.
they have to know that they're playing slow against the Medusa. That can be detrimental, and it makes it tougher. Now, they do have some great damage early on to keep that Medusa in check. Like, the Zeus should be able to eat right through if they wanted to. It's just whether or not Ehome actually finds those opportunities.
remaining.
They need to play around that Thunder God's Rat, play
5
around the
seconds
Haunt,
remaining.
and really ensure that the Medusa's just not going to get big, because if it does, that's just going to be a massive issue down the line.
Certainly will be. Still final banouts now, CDEC. Getting rid of the next assassin. Seem to believe that Ehome is still looking for a position 4 pickup. In all fairness, they really haven't secured their support duo yet, just by the looks of their draft.
Dire team back.
They'll actually get rid of Conquer as their last ban, so perhaps assuming the Zeus to be a support, and, not wanting to have the Conquer there up against the Medusa or the Void Spirit, which is fair enough. And Ehome, their final ban out now, they're looking for a safe lane to ban out here for
10
Ehome.
seconds remaining.
In fact, it could just be the, no, never mind. Army's probably going to
5
put in
seconds
Medusa. You're looking at the
remaining.
off lane then of SRF. They already got rid of the Brewmaster.
They could go back to, if they wanted to really set up for team fights, they could consider something like the Tide. It ties into that Stone Age cooldown rather okay if they wanted to. So you've got double sets of control. You can build up with a Medusa in that way. Went for that Tide Hunter. I think the more fascinating pick is really how Ehome will close out. Like, there is a rather strange set of heroes there that might mean we're going to see a last pick support for Ehome, unless they do something funky with a Clockwork NP support duo, which just doesn't seem great, or a support Zeus, which
Radiant team pick.
you've seen once or twice. Not quite sure if you've got the room for that still. Ehome, they banned out the Mars, so you don't have that option for CDEC. They're gonna need to find something to build off with Medusa and give them some presence early on, as they're gonna have to give some space for its Ehome to just
10
keep farming up.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Last pick up CDEC. Oh, the Night Stalker comes out. We've seen this one before, and I love that pick from CDEC. I think that really rounds it off quite nicely this draft. That if SRF has a decent start on this Night Stalker, there's just no way to
10
shut him
seconds
down.
remaining.
It's gonna be a very, very good kind of game for it.
5 seconds
Ehome.
remaining.
yeah.
I can only wonder what they could pick up now to really lock in their own draft and try to contest the CDEC draft. So many things to worry about.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, this does line up with your draft. I'd love a Bloodseeker
now
to close it out.
select your
Of
heroes.
course they played smart. They go with a Pango. A Blood would have been funny though. Zeus Blood, you know, Spell Am, Thunder
Yeah.
God's Wrath. That old meme in play.
Be fun. So that is going to be a position for Pangolier. Faith Beyond actually going to take the off-lane Prophet. They're going to give Y the clockwork, and they are indeed going to run the mid-Zeus safe lane Spectre. We'll see, Deck. Theirs is pretty self-explanatory. The safe lane Medusa, SRF, of course, on the off-lane Night Stalker, and XM going to be back on the mid-Fight Spirit. And assuming XM and SRF can have a decent enough laning stage, they should really be able to just feed off this draft of Ehome. Like, even the mid-Zeus, right? Like, as SRF on the Night Stalker, there's not really much the Zeus can do if you do close the gap and just Crippling Fear. You can essentially say the exact same thing about any of the other heroes. They just can't do anything if that Night Stalker does manage to close the gap.
Yeah, it's a really strong draft from CDEC. I think Ehome, they've got their work cut out for them. They're gonna have to stall the game out as best as possible, play around the haunt, and avoid nighttime. Is just absolutely terrifying at that point. And again, CDEC's draft is just lined up so well. That Venge is just so valuable here. It boosts up the Medusa, it boosts up SRF when he's on a rotation. They can just keep running at you as long as that nighttime's up. They've got some rather funky heroes here, Ehome. Okay, with that animation, he's got to get used to that one, because if he's not careful down mid, that's exactly how his character will look for the most part of this game.
Pretty much. See how it all pans out. Game number 3. Cider between these two.
Prepare for battle.
It's going to be really unfortunate for one of these teams just getting knocked out of the lower bracket and really just having to play back-to-back BO3s. But admit it as well, IG did look good the other day. We were casting them. A very scary team at the moment. It'll be easy to beat them out later on. One of these teams. Matter of which one it's going to be.
It's gonna be hard. I think that back-to-back fatigue is also a really big factor. It's a lot of games, man. Like it's just a lot to work through, and you'd rather not subject yourself to that. So, a lot in the line for both teams. Not too much excitement in this
30
clump up.
seconds to
Do you
battle.
see some ideas of what the lane could be like? Of course, Ehome is down bot. It's gonna be spotted out by SinQ, and there is some early damage there. He's got that orb, so rather easy to chase down, but not gonna dive that tier 1. Got a rough idea about where they would be. They drop a nice deep ward. Does mean they want to play a bit aggressive here in the bot lane.
I think they have to, right? Like, you can't just give Ehome free space to
The
the Medusa.
battle begins.
But it's enough that she's going to be able to just rotate into the jungle later on and just be able to soak farm there. Don't want to give her the amazing laning stage he's hoping for, and at least for now, Y is down at the bot lane, but looks like he is just going to body block up the other creep wave and try to get the creep equilibrium going their way. They might actually dive Ehome sooner rather than later. Still SinQ, going to take a bit of harassment, but we'll be able to swashbuckle out. We'll also try to body block up while